Greetings one and all. Welcome to the Easy and Delicious Kitchen. So what I'm going to be making in this video is some beautiful beef, one beautiful family size beef rendang pie. And the reason you're sitting there watching my television is, if it'll focus, is I have actually done a video in the past, like nearly a year and a half ago, of beef rendang, and that's this video that's on here at the moment. So rather than go through all that again, I'll just put a link to that, and this is what you're looking at the moment. It's the paste ingredients, and the process for the beef rendang is pretty much the same. Only difference is, for these pies, I browned my beef brisket first, whereas in this recipe I didn't need to do that. That's on the TV. So apologies for that. I did actually take some footage of me browning the beef and that, but it seems to be lost. So we'll jump forward now, whizzing up the paste, and I'll show you what goes in the slow cooker. Have a watch of this anyway. It's one of my early efforts, but it's pretty thorough. Alrighty guys, so yeah, like I said, I've got my crock pot here ready to go. Now that paste that I made is well and truly cooked out. I've had it cooking for at least 20 or so minutes. Actually, it's still a bit hot. I've just got to be careful. But yeah, I'll put that in. It's really important that you cook that paste if you've made it from scratch like that. It's okay to use a bottle one if you want. Then you can still cook it a little bit, but if you make it from scratch like this, yeah, you need to cook it out. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with a bottle sauce one. It'll be fine. It's just this will be better. Alright, just a can of coconut milk. Alright. Now I've got here just a 1/4 cup of dried desiccated coconut, and all I did was toast that a little bit before I started. So that can go in. Now just a few spices, not many. I've got a little bit of ground cardamom. I just want a 1/2 teaspoon of that. I've got a little bit of ground cinnamon, and again, just half a teaspoon. Now I've got some ground cloves, and I just want a little tiny bit of that, just like, yeah, 1/4 teaspoon. And that goes. All right. Bit of salt. Now I've got here just a hard lump of palm sugar, and I'm just going to grate that in. I probably don't need to grate it because it will melt eventually, but I'll just help it along a bit. Yeah, so that's like, yeah, good grated couple of tablespoons of grated palm sugar. Some tamarind paste. And I just want 2 teaspoons of that. I've got 3 kaffir lime leaves, and all I'm going to do is scrunch them up in my hand quite roughly, drop them in as well, and of course we'll be fishing them out at the end of the cook. And I've got one more stalk of lemongrass that I've just bashed with the handle of my knife, and that can go in as well. And that for now, my friends, is it. I'll get that on the slow cooker. I will see how we go and maybe put some water in there. But I'll let it have a little cook first and see how it measures up. And I'm going to put this on for 8 hours. After 8 hours, I'm going to let it cool to room temperature, put it in the fridge, and that's what I will be using tomorrow to make my pie. Alright my friends, here we are the next day. Next thing I'm going to do is make some pastry, some short pastry for my pies. Actually, I'll just show you how the meat turned out there. So that's my rendang. Now I just let that cool down in the slow cooker over quite a period of time. I actually went to bed and forgot about it. Yeah, stirred it up. It was at room temperature by then, and I've put it in the fridge, and it's been in the fridge overnight, and it's quite yeah, really happy with it. Don't know if you can see it there. Maybe if I move that out of the way you can get a better look. So there's still big chunks of meat in there. It's just quite there's a bit of gravy in that, but yeah, really happy. And of course I tasted it, and it's absolutely delicious. If you weren't making a pie, you'd just whip it on some rice. Alright, I'm digressing. So I've got my processor here. Just got the little plastic spinny thing. I'm sort of hoping that'll just start my pastry, but we'll see how we go. If not, I'll just throw it onto the bench and do it by hand. But to start with, I've got 2 cups of just plain flour. I've got 100 grams of butter that I've just sort of cut into little cubes. Well, I did have it cut in cubes, it sort of stuck back together again. So I'll just get them out. And last thing, I've just got a little bit of sour cream. I just want about 2 tablespoons of that for now. We'll see how that mixes up. Like I say, if it mixes up a bit, now we don't want it totally, absolutely 100% mixed up. We just want to get it started. Just a little bit of flour on the bench. And let's get out. It's nice and crumbly. All we need to do really is just get that so it holds together. You're not needing it at the moment. Now, once I've got it in a bit of a ball like that, I'm just going to find my knife and cut it roughly 1/3 to 2/3. 1/3 is going to be our pie lid, and 2/3 our pie base. And these we're just going to put in the fridge for about an hour. Alrighty, so my dough's been resting there for about an hour. So I've just got the bigger portion of it. Just
just in a ball there, so that's quite hard because it's been in the fridge. So we're just going to squash it out a bit. And it is quite flaky, this, so we'll just try and keep it together. What we'll do is just roll it, sort of turn it a bit. Just keep at it. Keep putting it back together a bit. Alrighty, like I say, she's pretty rough and ready. What I'll do is I'll just, once I think it's sort of big enough, I'll just fold that into quarters like so. Get my pie tray, which I've just lightly greased, whack the corner of that roughly into the middle, open her out, and let's see if we can do a bit of a repair job here on the run. Just gently press it in. This is a rustic pie, guys. It's not. We're not going for the prettiest in show. Just trim that off a bit. And once you're reasonably happy with it, like I am, actually, that looks a bit thin. Just on that bit there. Alright, I'm going to put this in the fridge because it is quite a warm day. This is sort of disintegrating now a little bit because it is very, very short pastry. So I'm going to put it back in the fridge just for another half hour before we finish off, and I'll get back to you then. Alrighty, time to put my pie here together. So half an hour later, I've got my crust out of the fridge there. I've got my filling all ready to go, so we'll see how we go with the mounts, just so you get some pie right up into the corners there like so. Alright, man, happy with that. Now I'll just put that aside. Now just off camera I got that other bit of pastry and I just rolled out just a lid for it, like so. Put that on, and again I'll just tear off a few of those. So what I'll do first, I should have done this first. It's got my pastry brush. I've got a bit of egg wash here and just give it a bit of a run around the inside there. Get it back out again. Right, that's looking good. Alright, and we'll just gently crimp it over a bit. I'm just going to just give that a little bit of a nudge around there, just where the egg is, so it doesn't stick. Beautiful. Alright, let's give him a wash all over. And we'll just give it a couple of little pricks on top, just for little air holes. Beautiful. I've got the oven preheating to 180 degrees Celsius. Not quite there yet. As soon as it is, I'm going to whack it in there for at least half an hour or so. We'll check it anyway, keep an eye on it. And I'll get back to you when we're pulling her out.
Alrighty, I've just pulled my pie out of the oven here, and it's looking good, smelling good, and man, it's got my name written all over it, I reckon. Literally. Alrighty, sorry about that little silly joke with my name on it. Sometimes you've got to release the inner child, folks. And yeah, actually, I'm not sorry, I'm unapologetic. Anyway, let's taste this thing. It turned out, the reason I'm being a bit full of myself is it turned out absolutely really fantastic. I was a little bit worried about the pastry being a little bit too short, but I got away with it, so let's try a bit. I know the rendang's beautiful, so to have like a little beautiful rendang pie, and nah, no worries. You get the picture anyway, you can see what it's like. I don't know why it won't focus at the moment. Be some setting I haven't put on, or not enough light. Anyway, let's taste it. That's one of the nicest pies I've ever eaten. And I realised, yeah, I spent a lot of time making that rendang. I wanted to make a really special pie, and it worked. So that shortcut crust pastry just melts in your mouth. It's so flaky, and I mean, look at it. It's just falling to bits. It's as delicate as anything. Yum. Alright guys, I'm going on too much. Thanks for watching as always. Really appreciate your patience if you've got this far. And thanks to those who've subscribed to the channel. Really appreciate that too. Hit the 400 mark. It was a slow crawl to that, but I'm beyond caring about that. I just really appreciate those that have subscribed. And yeah, if you want to hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Alright guys, I will see you all next time.